day, that hustle.
Hustle House Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hustle House. Today we're going to be talking about how to stay motivated. Me and Jason are going to have a discussion and we're just going to get straight into it. Okay, so when we're talking about motivation, you need to understand that motivation is never permanent. You're never going to stay motivated. Some days you're not going to feel like getting out of bed. You're not going to feel like working out and doing the things that you need to do to get you towards your goal. You need to understand that right now, because when you feel that way, just know that everybody else is feeling the same way and they're still putting in the work. So that means you still have to put in the work even if you don't feel motivated.
And it's funny because when people are like, oh, I don't feel like doing it today, like I'm not motivated. It's like, homie, it's cool. Like just put in the work regardless.
Just put in the work.
You know, it's like not every day when you wake up, you're pumped up for the gym. Are you pumped up for the gym every day?
No, there's times where I feel like shit.
Yeah,
you know,
but you gotta go, you know, and I think that's a mental thing. Like when you understand and acknowledge the fact that, hey, I don't always have to be motivated, but I still gotta do it. And I think if you know that and you acknowledge it, you can, I wouldn't say easier, but you're more willing to put in the work. Because you're like, who cares? I don't feel like it, but regardless, I'm gonna do it. You know, but most people fall in this trap, like today I'm gonna grind. They're gonna grind, they're gonna freaking put in all the work, but then tomorrow they don't feel like it. So they don't really like put in the work. So I think that's the first rule. Yeah. Know that you're not always gonna be motivated and it's okay. In fact, the other guy next to you, the guy over there, he's not motivated either all the time, but he still puts in the work, you know? And really, the second thing is being around the right people. Yeah. So I look back on it in the last 2.5 years when it comes to real estate investing. The one thing that motivated me and made me feel confident in investing in real estate, because it's a very, I wouldn't say it puts a lot of fear in people like myself, but it kind of does, because you're getting into a lot of debt and you don't know, hey, what if this happened? What if that happens? So there's a lot of unknown, right?
Yeah, investing a lot of money into it.
Yeah, but like being around you and you're like, hey, I just got this property. I was like, oh, dude, that got me pumped up. I was so juiced when you got your first rental. And then you got your second one and you started building ADU. And I was like, all right. And I got my first one, then my second one, and so on. So like being around the right people literally motivates you. Imagine if 100%. Because if you weren't doing that, if you weren't going to the gym, that'll affect me in that way though. So like motivation, you got to be looking around the people that's surrounding you. Because if they're lazy, they're not doing anything, more than likely they're gonna rub off on you the wrong way, you know?
Yeah, especially in the beginning. I remember when we first started working out, having you there was like, you know, the days I didn't feel like working out, you'd be like, no, let's go.
It was like a non-negotiable.
It's non-negotiable. And then the days you didn't feel like it, I was like, no, let's go.
No, we're going. Yeah.
And so we got to the point where we were hitting the gym every single day. Yep. And then we started seeing results. And then once you started seeing the results, from there it gets easier because now you're seeing a change. You're like, all right.
And you're more motivated.
You're more motivated at that point, and it gets easier. But in the beginning, especially, you want to be around the right people that are doing what you're looking to do. It just makes it easier because you see them doing it and it motivates you. It kind of makes you feel uncomfortable that this person is making it happen and you're not.
It's funny you say that because the fact that like when you started buying real estate, I'm not gonna lie, like that made me, I wouldn't say uncomfortable because there's a negative like idea behind that, but it literally did. I was like, oh shoot,
I gotta get one.
Like I gotta like straight up. I'm not even kidding. And that's why I say, I wouldn't say uncomfortable, more like motivated. Because then I was like, oh, my homie just got one. He's making X amount. And I was like, oh, shoot, it's my turn. Yeah. And then, you know, being around the right people, it's a very important when it comes to motivation.
And the other thing, too, is knowing what you want, okay? So you need to have your goals written down on paper. Most people don't even know what the hell they want out of life. Like, what are you here for? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? Write that shit down. You know what I mean? Like, write down what you want. Like, if whether it's, you know, to retire your family, to travel the world, you know, take care of your kids, whatever it is, like you have to write it down. How much you want to make, write it down. And when you have it on paper, it does something. Yeah. For some reason, like when I write my goals down on paper, it gets me going. Like it just lights a fire in me. It's like, all right, like this is what I have to do. You know, it's kind of like setting that like
intention, you know?
Setting that tension. It's like when you're going on a road trip and you type the GPS on your phone and you know where you're going. Writing your goals down is the same thing. It's like writing down the GPS. So now you know where you're going. So now you know what you got to do that day to make it happen.
Yeah. And I feel like when it comes to knowing what you want, like if you ask like a random stranger, like just anyone you pass by on a day-to-day basis and you ask them, hey, what do you want? Like, what do you mean? What do you want out of life? Oh, you know, just to pay my bills, get by. It's like, homie, that's your best? Like, how do you, like, come on. You're gonna be motivated to wake up the next day, be like, oh shoot,
no.
another day to pay my bills.
Hell no.
Homie, I would be depressed if that was my goal for life. You know, you gotta have like goals like, no, I wanna make 6 figures. I wanna make multiple 6 figures. I wanna buy my dad a car. I wanna buy my dad a house. I wanna take care of all my family, my kids. Like, you gotta have goals so big that you wake up the next day juiced up for the day. You know, not just to pay your bills, you know, and then if people are retiring 65, 70 years old, you're like, nah, retirement is the new 45 is the new retirement. You know, by 45, I'm going to have X amount of money. I'm going to be living here. This is what my house is going to look like. And now every day you're motivated because you know time is ticking.
Yeah.
I gotta get there, you know? And that's why goals are important because it literally motivates you.
And it just gets you that much closer to your goals too. Like Alexander the Great, bro, he conquered the world.
Yeah. And we're still talking about him today.
At a super young age, bro. Like, this kid was 23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he conquered the world.
And it's 2023 and we're talking about him.
You think he didn't have goals?
Yeah, exactly.
You think he didn't know what he wanted?
Talk about big goals, you know? And lastly, guys, is taking action. It's really simple. Like, how can you be motivated if every single day you don't even do anything towards the attainment of your goal? Like, it doesn't matter if you're only getting 1% result. The fact is, when you see a little result, you're gonna start thinking in your head, okay, this is actually possible, right? Like the gym, for example, once you've been in it for a couple months and you start seeing results, you're like, oh dude, this is possible. I can make this happen. When you start a new business, when you start investing and you start making a little bit of money, you're like, oh shoot, this is possible. But here's the opposite of it. If you take no action at all, there's not any sign of result. So of course you're not motivated.
Yep.
So like you have to take action, and I don't know what it is for you in order to get closer to your goal, but like figure it out, write it down and be like, okay, today this is what I got to do. The next week this is what I got to do, and you just take action. It doesn't matter how small and insignificant it is.
Yep.
Dude, a little bit of action, and the action that you don't know might be the thing that gets you to your goal, is better than no action at all. Like a well-planned, like some people are like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. They have a great plan, right? But they never take action.
Yeah.
And then there's this other guy, he doesn't even freaking know anything. He just starts taking little action at a time, and he gets way further than the guy who has the best plan in the world. So,
Yeah, exactly.
want to be motivated? Take action.
Even when you don't feel like it.
Absolutely.
Even when you don't feel like it, you gotta take action. When you don't know what you're doing, like you said,
Yep.
just do something, and eventually you'll figure it out.
Well, it's funny because when you got your license, right, and everyone was telling you not to get it, you just took the action. You're like, I don't know how I'm going to do
Yeah.
this, but I did it. And then all of a sudden, like you wanted to start doing flips. You didn't know how to do it, and then you found partners, and now you have this big company.
Yeah.
And like now it helps me because like I buy properties from your company,
Yep.
and it like works out, you know. And you didn't know this was all gonna. You just were like, I'm gonna take action.
Exactly.
I'll figure it out.
I just did something.
Yeah.
You know, I started putting signs out.
Oh, bro, I remember that. I remember you would
1, 2 in the morning, I'd be putting signs out. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
I remember
was
that,
fucking
bro.
Just doing.
in your Mazda.
Yeah.
Your Mazda had a bunch of freaking sticks, all the signs, and you just with a hammer.
Yep.
You look like you were a killer or something because
Yeah.
all that stuff in the car.
But you know, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
So
Man, that's crazy though, you know. So really that's what it is, guys. Like to stay motivated, it's really a mindset thing. You know, like you gotta control your mind, and like you can't wait for someone like myself or Eddie to come along and be like, hey, you're gonna do it. You're gonna kill it today. Like, what if I never come? What if Eddie doesn't come along to pump you up? Like, that sucks, you know? So don't wait for someone to come along to motivate you. Like, motivate yourself internally, right? And eventually, 5-10 years from now, we'll see you at the top. Guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Right below, we're also gonna have our Instagram handle down there. And then make sure, if you have any questions, you need any advice about real estate, working out, making money, sales, whatever it is, right? Hit us up. We'll be more than happy to help you out.